Okay, well, everyone, I wanted to take an opportunity to welcome you all to our Muskie chat this evening. Before we get started, can everyone hear me? Can you please type yes into the question and answer box? Sounds great. Thank you, everyone. Now that we know that everyone can hear me, I wanted to take an opportunity quickly just to introduce myself. My name is Sarah Barczak, and I am one of the assistant directors here in the undergraduate admission office here at Xavier. I will be one of your hosts this evening. I also wanted to take an opportunity to introduce my colleague, Kimberly Doolin, who will be assisting me this evening. So here tonight, obviously we'll be talking about the Xavier Bookstore and options you have to purchase your books here at Xavier. And here this evening, we have Samantha and Anna from the Xavier Bookstore. We also have Michael Hubbard here. So he will be here to address any of the more difficult questions that you may have for us or throw our way. So I will give Samantha and Anna a quick opportunity to introduce themselves before they get started with their presentation. So take it away.
Hi, I'm Anna McDonald. I'm a senior here at Xavier, and I'm double majoring in public relations and advertising.
Hi, I'm Samantha Pop. I'm a junior, and I'm double majoring in marketing and economics.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, ladies. So I will pull up their PowerPoint slide here quickly and add that to our screen share. Now, as all of you are listening to their presentation, as you have questions, please feel free to type those into the question and answer box. We will not be answering those during the presentation, but we will be answering those once they've completed, and we'll take an opportunity to answer any questions that you may have. Okay, there we go. We are good to go with the PowerPoint.
Excellent. Okay. So the first thing we're addressing is what are course materials. So unlike in high school where you just have a textbook or an English class where you just have a few novels that you read, there are a lot more materials out there that you might need for your class or might be helpful. So we have textbooks, obviously, and we also have study guides, lab supplies, bar charts, reference materials, and a lot of different classes use online homework assistance. So you'll get an access code that you have to purchase that can allow you to do practice problems or do homework assignments that are required, things like that.
So when it comes to course material options, we have a lot of different options. The first one that's probably going to be the cheapest most of the time would be to rent your textbook. When you rent your textbooks, you can really do anything to them that you would if you bought the books. You can still highlight in them. You can still write in them if you need be. And if you ever want to turn your rental into a purchase, you can do that at any time before you turn it in. And turning them back in is very simple. You just go in at the end of the year, give them the same phone number that you used when you originally rented the textbook, and then you have it returned. It's a very simple process. And then we also have digital textbooks, and you can either rent or purchase those. And the thing with all of the digital textbooks that we work with, you can access them on any device. You can access them on your smartphone, tablet, computer, whether you have an Apple or an Android. We make sure that whatever kind of digital textbook you want, you can access it wherever you'd like. And you can still highlight in them. You can still take sections out. And depending on the textbook that you're renting or buying, you can print sections out if you'd like. But sometimes those do vary on how much you can print out. So it just really depends. And then we also have new and used textbooks. Used textbooks are going to be a little bit less expensive. And they sometimes do go faster than the new textbooks just because they're a little less expensive. But you can still write, you can still highlight, you can do whatever you'd like, and you can keep it. You can also sell them back at the end of the semester for up to 50% of the original cost. It just really depends on, if we know that we need to buy it back for the next semester, and sometimes it even depends on, when you can sell it back. but you can sell it back at any point as well. And that goes for both the new and the used.
We definitely recommend renting if that's an option for that textbook. That's what I usually do. I usually rent used if that's an option because it's so much cheaper and it's just really easy to turn it back in. It's always the day after exams are over, so pretty simple.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can also buy these online, not just in the store. So you can go to www.xaviershop.com and you can do this online at that site, on campus, or during the registration process. And we'll get into that in a little bit. It's really simple, and we'll show you some screenshots here in a second to show you exactly where to click if you're confused. And so you can do this, all format options available.
Yeah, so whether you want the digital, the rent, the new, or the used, we have all of those options available for you online.
And you also have free shipping to the store on campus or to your residence hall. And your RA will have more information about how exactly to get that once you come to school, but it will be available on the first day that you get here. And it's really simple, the rental registration, like we said, you just fill out a little bit of information saying that you'll pay money if you turn it in late.
All right, so when you go to xaviershop.com, you'll see a tab that says books. And if you hold your mouse over that, it'll have a drop down that says textbooks and course material. And that's where you're going to want to go. So when you get to the next screen, it has an option to select your campus, which obviously is Xavier. And then you also have to select your term. And so you're going to want to do the fall 2015-09. And this part is where you're going to want to have your class schedule out because you're going to need the course number, the section, and the area the department. So, bio versus comm. It's going to make a big difference.
And then when you get there and you have all of that information filled out, it'll just pull up the textbook that you need. A lot of times it'll have a picture, which is really helpful, and it'll have the name, and then you'll get all these different options. You can buy new, buy used, rent new, rent used, whatever is available for that specific textbook. And you just check that box that you want and then add it to your cart.
Yeah, and usually when you're on this page, you'll have the required materials that your teacher wants, but for certain classes, you might also have recommended materials. So if your teacher thinks that, a bar chart would be helpful for when it comes to studying, then it might be under a recommended tab. So, it might be a good thing to buy, depending on the type of class. So you can also get your textbooks a different way. So if you go to the Student Hub, which is xavier.edu/students, there is an option for self-service. If you click there, it'll take us to the next screen where you go to the Road to Xavier New Freshman Registration. So you want to click on that and you have 5 options. The best option for getting your textbooks is going to be under option 3, add or drop classes. So when you go to that screen, it has your current schedule. So for students already registered, it has every class that you're going to take right up there already, which is very convenient. So then if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, you have 3 different options: view holds, change course options, or purchase textbooks. So we're going to purchase textbooks.
And when you get to that, it'll have a list of your classes again, and you can hit purchase textbooks again.
And then a small screen will pop up saying that you need to send a form. You do want to send it just because that's how it pulls up all of the books that you need.
And then when you get there, it's really useful. I didn't even know you could do this until I was looking at this PowerPoint, and so I'm going to do it that way now. But it'll have all of your classes' textbooks in one place all together. And as you can see from our screenshot, we have one that is fully expanded with that plus sign or minus sign. So you can see all the options there just as if you did it the other way. And you can go ahead and expand all of the other ones as well if you want to see. It's just really simple to see all of them at once instead of going through all of your course information and typing it all in separately.
Exactly, and this makes sure that you don't accidentally type in course 2 versus course 5 because they could have completely separate textbooks. And so in the store, we also have different cards, which is up on your screen. The yellow one shows the options that you have for the book to either buy it new or used or to rent it. And it also has a red little strip that shows that, this book is able to be rented, which is always a good thing. And then we also have the digital option for it if that book is offered in digital. And when you go, if you do want a digital textbook, then you just have to take the little blue tab that says digital textbooks. You just take it out, you take it up to the counter, they'll scan it, they'll activate it, and there you have a digital textbook.
So these are just little labels just under the textbooks, and we have all of our textbooks ordered not by author or alphabetically, but by the course.
Yeah. All right, so that's it. Does anybody have any questions?
Let's see. Well, if anyone has any questions, feel free to type those into the question and answer box. And we are here to answer any questions that you may have. So our first question is from Vincent, and he asked if you can place your book orders right now for the fall semester.
Yes. If your teacher has given us the materials that you need, then we will have them up on the website and you will be able to place your order now.
Yeah, and if you go back and watch this again later, we did have on our last screenshot from the website, we did have one that said on our example that it wasn't available yet or to be determined or something like that. And so that would be an example of when a teacher hasn't placed the order yet, but we're getting those in as quickly as possible and working on that, so it'll be in soon.
So we have lots of people who ask the same questions. Who basically asked about when they can order their books.
I'll jump in with just a little bit more information on that. For most freshman titles, you should be able to order almost everything at this point. While we don't have all textbook orders in at this time of year, most freshman titles use similar titles from year to year, so we should be very close to having 100% of those titles available right now.
We haven't had any other questions come in so far, but do you guys have any frequently asked questions that you guys typically get from students if they can't think of any questions right now that you think would be helpful to them at this point?
I mean, the first one asked is the most popular question we get is, when can I order my books? When can I pick up my books? All of those are right now or anytime. I mean, you don't have to order them right now. We suggest people order their books as soon as possible because it gives you the most selection as far as used titles and other titles. When can you pick them up? Where can you pick them up is another big question we get. There's lots of options available on the website to pick them up. In-store pickup is a very popular option, meaning that you would order your books, choose in-store pickup, and then you can pick them up in the store itself when you come to campus. One thing we do specifically on Xavier's campus that lots of places don't do is our dorm delivery program. So you can order your books, choose in-store pickup, but instead of choosing the store name, choose whatever residence hall you'll be living in. And then we will package the books all up, box them up, and they'll have them waiting in your residence hall when you arrive to campus. So you can avoid long lines, that sort of thing. And the other option is to have them shipped to your home. I don't want to say we don't recommend that necessarily, but I look at it as, why have something shipped to your house if you're going to come and bring it to campus anyway. So I would suggest ordering as early as possible, but then having them waiting for you to pick up either place when you get to campus.
Okay. So we've had some more questions come in. So Kathy asked, once your textbooks have been ordered, do you pay immediately, or how does that process work?
So whenever you place an order, you'll see, it's kind of a technical question, and sorry, it's going to get a little technical in my answer. Once you place your initial order, what our website will do, we'll reach out and make sure that your account's active, so you'll see a $1 charge come across your credit card bill. Then your textbooks will sit there and you won't get charged for any more books until we place them in a box. So let's say you order 10 books that you need for course, but only 8 of them are available at our store at that time. When we box those 8 books up and put them into the box, you'll get charged for those 8 books, and then those other 2 books would show as a back order status. Once we package those up later on, we got the books, then you would see a charge come for those other 2 books. So you never get charged until the actual book is put in a box for you, set aside.
So our next question is from Vincent again. He asks, what happens if he loses a book or it is severely damaged? I'm assuming this means if he rents it.
Sure.
And when he has to return it, what would happen?
We'll assume, we will assume for this question that it's a rental book. More or less, when you agree to rent a book, you do agree to bring it back to us in a sellable condition. So you can still highlight in it, you can still write in it, you can still do all that stuff. But if during the course of the rental, let's say something happens to it, you drop it in a lake or whatever happens.
Hopefully not.
It's happened before, that's why I use that example. You can't bring the book back to us. All that you would need to do is convert the book to a purchase at that point. So you would just take ownership of the book, whatever condition it's in, and you would just want to pay the difference between the rental price and the sale price. We always would suggest doing that before the end of the semester so you get it taken care of and you don't forget about it, and then go to a status that says you just never turned the book back in. But yeah, if you can't return the book to us for any reason like that, then it becomes a purchase instead of a rental, and it's your book. It might still be usable lots of times, but for the most part, as long as the book is still in one piece and the pages still turn and somebody else can still use it, we will take it back from you.
Okay, great. So I think you may have mentioned this before, but the student asks if you can have the books delivered directly to their dorm room.
Not to your dorm room. You can have it delivered directly to your dorm. So we're working with Residence Life right now to make a system of where it will go. So we started the dorm delivery program about 2 years ago, and we tried to go directly into the dorm rooms before students got to campus, but that just caused a bunch of problems. Students sometimes at the last minute can change dorm rooms. We want to make sure that you get the books that you ordered and paid for. So what we're doing this semester is we are working with each individual dorm building, and we're going to have a direct contact with that building. So we will take all the books from any building, let's say Fenwick, and take them to our contact at Fenwick. That person, who is one of the residence hall directors of that building, will then be in contact with each person who's on the list who ordered from that building to either get them delivered to each room or have a pickup event down in the lobby where you can come down and pick up the books.
Great. So Jacqueline, I believe, is asking for you to repeat something that you guys presented about. So she says that she's trying to look for her books apparently right now as we're going through the session, which is great. And she asked, what did you say to do after you select option 3, add/drop your classes?
Scroll down to the very bottom of the page, and you should see a purchase textbook icon down at the very bottom of that. This is assuming that you've already registered for your courses. If you have not, let me jump back just a second, sorry about that. If you're in the process of registering for your courses right now, all you should do is go through the registration process as normal, and then at the very bottom of you'll get a page that says your registration is complete. Here's your course list. At the very bottom of that page, there would be a button that says purchase your textbook. If you have already completed your registration process and you're at that page that lists your courses, you'll just scroll down to the very bottom of the add drop class, and at the bottom right-hand side, there's a link that says purchase textbooks. If you click that, it'll open up another page that gives a recap of your schedule, and then click purchase textbooks again. And what it will do is the Xavier website will then collect all of the information for your however many courses you're taking, transmit them to the book website, which will automatically pull each of the required materials, put them in a cart for you, and then you just need to choose the edition and check out.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. Sure. And then Lauren asks if she wants to pick up her textbooks, where exactly would she pick them up?
The Gallagher Student Center, first floor. Sorry, I stuttered on first floor right there. I can never tell which floor is what number in my head. But the bookstore where all of the textbooks are located at is inside the Gallagher Student Center, right next to the welcome desk. We have extended hours every day during Manresa and the first week of classes. So as long as you get there between 8 and 8, you should be able to pick them up. We suggest people come either earlier in the day or later in the day. The meat of the day, if you will, from about 10 until 3 p.m. That first 2 weeks is going to be extremely busy. We try our best to get through as many people as we can, but there's a few thousand people coming to get their books at the same time. So try to get there at an off-peak time is my best suggestion if you don't want to get in line.
Great. And then this student asked if their textbooks are charged to their bursar bill or if they have to pay for them separately on a credit card.
Whichever one you want. You can, if you have an available balance on your bursar bill, you can come to the bookstore and charge them. Unfortunately, you can't pay with bursar funds on our website. It's not set up to do that because there's no way to validate who the student is that's trying to check out with the books. But if you want to wait until you're in the store, you can come. One of our associates will help you pick out your books. And then when you get up to the cash register to check out, just tell your cashier that you want to use your bursar funds to pay for it or your student account, and they will charge you to that.
Wonderful. So this student asked, and I believe we talked about this a little bit before, but they asked if they buy their books now, will they pick them up when they get to campus? And I believe the answer is yes. So they can basically pick them up in the Gallagher Student Center.
Yep, or have them delivered to the door.
Yes. Okay. Kathy asked if she received scholarship for purchase of textbooks. Do they need to contact the financial aid office?
No. If you receive a scholarship for your textbooks, it goes back to the previous question that was just asked. It's automatically added to your bursar account as available funds to use to purchase your textbooks. So just come to the bookstore and say that you want to charge them to your student account or your bursar account. We charge it to that account, and then when it gets over to the bursar's office, they see that you have X amount of dollars to use for textbooks and that you had a charge from the bookstore from X amount of dollars, and they take it out of that amount.
Wonderful. And then Lauren asked, what if the required book that she needs to purchase is on back order?
If the required book you need to purchase on back order, it means all back order simply means is that we haven't gotten it in from the publisher yet. So nobody has gotten that book who's ordered the book yet. So we are getting literally dozens of packages every day from publishers trying to get all the books in for the semester. So your back order book will go just kind of, it'll stay in our system. So we still have the order, it's still sitting there. It will sit over here in a back ordered status. Sorry, I'm using hand gestures and I realize I'm not on camera. It sits in a back ordered status. And then once we do get the book back in, we receive the book into our system, it automatically activates all of the orders that are waiting for that book and prints them back out so we can fulfill all those orders. So if you have a back ordered book, you will get your order fulfilled before that book ever goes to the sales floor to make sure that you get yours first that you ordered first.
Okay, wonderful. And this student asked, what happens if you pick up your books prior to August 20th? I'm assuming nothing special happens.
You can get a jump start on stuff.
Yeah. You're being very proactive, and we applaud you for that. Okay. We've had a few students ask if they can pick up their books during Manresa, and I believe you said that you have extended hours.
You can. We do have extended hours. I do also know the Manresa schedule is extremely tight, and everything is kind of kept in order to make sure there's not too much wandering off and people getting misplaced and all that sort of thing. So you absolutely, the bookstore is open. We have extended hours. You are absolutely welcome to pick them up in there. But like I said, there's just know that there are limited time frames of availability in that Manresa schedule. But you absolutely, if you want to, can pick them up that week.
Yeah. And I remember, at least when I was a freshman, they would have like scheduled free times or like a scheduled like lunch time, and it might be longer than you really need, so you could pop on over then too.
And I do believe, I'm hesitant to say this because it's not 100% finalized yet, but I do believe the Residence Hall Delivery Program is going to have a set amount of time in one of their programs just for students to pick up the books that are in the residence halls. So if you do the residence hall delivery, I believe move-in night from, I think, 7 to 10, you'll be able to pick up your books in the residence hall that night. But that's still kind of in the works, kind of.
Sounds good. And since Michael, you mentioned about the Manresa schedule, so for those of you who have been checking the Manresa website, currently the family and parent schedule is available. The student schedule I don't believe is available quite yet, but it will be available during the coming week or so. So you'll be able to understand much better, what you'll be expected to do during the Manresa schedule and everything like that. Okay. So we do have another question from Vincent, who asks, if you are renting a book and subsequently drop or change a class, do you receive the full value of the rental when you return the book before the class is added or dropped? Or
Yes.
Before the deadline?
Yes. As long as you add or drop the class before the deadline, then you'll get a full refund of the book. We do have a refund policy that is 2 weeks from the first day of class. That's for a standard purchase. If somebody just wants to refund the book for a full amount. Anytime you drop the class, however, as long as it's before the add drop date set on the campus calendar, you just bring a copy of your drop slip to us or show us on your phone the sheet that says you dropped the course, and we'll do a full refund.
Wonderful. So Lauren, who had previously asked about picking her books up before August 20th, sent another message and clarified a little bit. So she said that her question is, if she picks up her books prior to August 20th, in order to avoid the rush that you were talking about, what are the bookstore hours before August 20th, if she wants to stop by campus?
I made a face. She put me on the spot. I just need to actually look what the date is in my head. Hold on, I'm looking at my phone calendar.
No worries.
Luckily, I'm not on camera. So we will start regular store hours on August 17th, which would be from 8 a.m. through 7 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and then 8 to 6 on Friday. That being said, since the 17th is the first day of classes, I believe we will be open until 8 p.m. each night that week, starting on the 17th through the first 2 weeks of the semester. Sorry, through that week and then through the first week. I always consider Manresa the first week of the semester. So the 17th through 28th, anytime before 8 p.m. should be fine. And we open at 8 a.m. every day, so not many people want to get there earlier than that.
Well, does anyone else have any other questions? You're welcome to type those into the question and answer box for us and keep them coming. Robert says it was very helpful. Thank you, which is great. Okay. And just so all of you know, that we will have a recording of this session posted onto your Road to Xavier account, at least by tomorrow afternoon at the very latest. So if you think of questions you asked or can't remember something that we talked about today, that you'll be able to access that in the future as well.
I would throw in there, you can also look up any of our contact information. If you go to xavier.edu/bookstore, you can find contact information for myself. My name is Michael Hubbard. Eric Irwin is my course materials manager. His contact information is on there. So if there's any questions that you didn't get answered tonight that you think of tomorrow, you can always email us or give us a call and we'd be happy to answer.
And then Michael, do you mind repeating the bookstore hours?
Sure. Well, the current bookstore hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and we are closed on the weekend during the summer. Once we get back to regular standard hours, and I apologize, these might not be 100% accurate. We're still working on ironing out our schedule for this fall. We are right now at 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. through 6 p.m. on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, and closed on Sundays.
And then during the school year, will you be open on Saturdays? Or?
Yes, the second set hours I just gave you was during the school.
Okay, sorry about that.
Nope, you're good. And we are open on Sunday, the first 3 Sundays of the semester, to make sure people get their books. And anytime there's a class start date throughout the year, like if people are taking this doubtful for freshmen, but if you're taking a second semester education course or anything that has an odd start date, we always open up for the Sunday before classes to make sure if people want to get their books before class start.
Okay. That's great. And then we do have another question from Jacqueline. She asked if there is a specific date that all course materials will be released by. So basically, where all materials will be available on the website.
2 months ago, I say joking, we update materials every single day as soon as we get them. So at this point, the only materials that you can't find on the website are ones that we don't know what they're using for the course yet. And we are in contact with those professors and those departments on a daily basis to try to get those. It's good to note lots of courses are still being ironed out. The new core program this year, Xavier has new professors teaching new courses they haven't taught before. So there's still lots of deciding being done on what materials people are using. And in some cases, what instructors are being assigned to classes. So there are some things that always unfortunately delay 100% of the books being available. At this point, we're just about at 80% of the books that we have in our system available. And like I said, if you narrow that down to just freshman titles, it's much closer to 100%. But we are updating that list every single day as we get more information throughout the first week of the semester, really.
Sounds great. Well, this is our final opportunity to ask any questions that you may have. If you don't have any more questions, that's perfectly okay. As Michael said, you can find the bookstore's contact information on their website. And feel free to call either the bookstore or call our offices here in the Office of Admission, and we can at least connect you with the right people. Who knows, you may talk to Michael, Anna, or Samantha as you're going through the process. All right. Well, it doesn't look like anyone has any last questions, so I just wanted to take an opportunity to thank all of you for joining us this evening. We hope this information was very helpful to you and informative as you're going through the process of purchasing your books. I also wanted to take the opportunity to thank our presenters. I think all of this information was very helpful to us as well as to all of our incoming students. As I mentioned before, this session will be recorded and will be posted on the road to Xavier tomorrow. So if you have friends who were not able to join us but had planned to join us, feel free to let them know they can check that out there. And then lastly, we hope you'll register for our Muskie chat that we have coming up next week. And we will be talking about student integrity. So we'll have a few folks here from Xavier to talk a little bit about student integrity and what that means to be a current student here at Xavier. So again, thank you very much. And I guess that wraps everything up for us.